What can we do today for the future? With so many things going on, so much uncertainty around us, I was thinking, it's time for the future, it's time for today, or should we think just talking about the present and try to survive? Where should we focus our energy and time? Today, the future, have so many things to do today, many questions come to our mind, and if I may, it's time for leadership, for us to lead. Time to overcome the today to get into the future, a better future. Have no doubt. It's time for leadership, it's time for short-term immediacy and time for the long-term future. Let me share with you some thoughts to help you to cope with both short and long-term. Much depends on us. Our mindset is key. Certainly, it's about today and about the future. Let me start with this concept. When I was in PepsiCo, and I didn't meet him personally, but John Sculley, that was an important executive over there, he was hired by Steve Jobs to help him to develop Apple. And I learned this concept from him. For those that come from finance, you know that this concept return on equity. But he was inviting us to, instead of talking about equity, talking about experience. And he was talking about the enormous value that the concept of return on experience has. He was saying, it's not about the amount of experience that you have. It's not important. The important thing is what you do with the experience that you have. So my aim for this video or for these slides is that, you're having an experience. Take it as it is and try to do something with that for you to be a good return on experience. So I hope that the concepts and the ideas and the reflections I'm going to be sharing with you, help you to get a good return on experience. Let me share with you this thought from Socrates. When I was in the executive world and I moved into academics and I was teaching to people from many companies and many sectors that I didn't know that much about it. I name it, let me name it banking, chemistry, auditors and so forth. I felt kind of, uncomfortable because how come I dare to teach people that know more about what I'm, more about the subject I'm talking about. And then I found this thought from Socrates that, as you can read here, I cannot teach anybody anything, I can only make them think. And I said here, yes, it's not about teaching, it's about making them think. So this session is about making you think and to reflect about your reality and not trying and not pretending to teach you anything. It's just to provoke your thinking. So let's go for this return experience and for your thinking. I found this thought from Ortega y Gasset. He's a philosopher in Spain, from Spain, and I like very much when I read this quote. He said, "We cannot postpone life until we are ready. The most characteristic feature of life is its urgency." With that, my message is, we cannot wait for the pandemic finish or the coronavirus or any other viruses that may come. It's our life, it's our time. We cannot postpone living until it's finished. We have to live it. So, this is the sense of urgency. We cannot wait. Let's go for that. Let's face it and let's get the best from it. Let me introduce you these two gentlemen, Adam Smith and Alfred Chandler Jr. Adam Smith, he wrote the book, The Wealth of Nations. And in this book, you can find the theory of the invisible hand, that hand that sends the message that markets regulate by themselves. Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Boris Johnson, China, Chile, oil prices, exchange rates, many things that you are aware of, and then you react to them. But then we found, many years later, came Professor Alfred D. Chandler Jr. from Harvard Business School, and this professor was talking about the invisible hand. He developed the theory of the visible hand, that hand that we all have to make decisions, to buy companies, to sell companies, to launch a product, to raise prices, to lower prices. So this session is more about the visible hand. It's not just waiting for things to happen to us, it's more about making things happen. So it's return on experience, thinking, and visible hand. The future has come suddenly. You know, things that we thought were going to happen in 10 years' time, now they're happening immediately now. So that's a reality. So I'd like to say that everything we've done until now, we've been training. Now is the time to prove and to show that we are ready for the difficult times that we are facing. Certainly we have dark clouds. Certainly we have uncertainty, complexity, not defined timeline that's global. It happens everywhere. There's some light at the end. Certainly, solutions will come. But this journey until the final solution is here, I understand that it's not easy to cope with. But that's why I'm going to be sharing some thoughts for you to help you to go forward with it. So I've defined 4 key drivers for a new world. And with these key drivers form the acronym of life. One is leadership, the second one is immediacy, the third one is future, and the E stands for digital. Let me cover the fourth of them because I think that they are key drivers for the new world that we're going to be having in this coming future. First one, when talking about leadership, at moments, it's a moment of true leadership and followership. I mean, it's time for leaders and followers, and you're a leader as long as you have people following you, and sometimes we are followers, sometimes we are leaders. I may be a leader in a company, but then I'm a follower when somebody in my company is doing a project, and this is healthy. It's healthy. In the past, people that were leaders all the time, and I think it was not that, that fulfilling. I think that we have to feel both senses. If I may, making the acronym, the comparison with the sports, sometimes you lead, sometimes you have the ball, sometimes you have to defend, sometimes you have to protect your. So it's the same in business. What do experts say about leadership? And there are many theories, and I picked the one that I like the most. That's the one that talks about transformational leadership. And what do experts say about transformational leadership? They highlight 4 characteristics for this profile, and I want to share them with you. The first one, they say that these leaders are charismatic. Charismatic meaning that they provoke devotion and loyalty, and they have the commitment with values. And they emphasize the collective importance of the mission. They'll calm down people, they communicate, they're transparent, and they're honest. And I know that there are many people that have it more, let's say, more spontaneously. They are more charismatic. But we all can be better at committing with values, can be better at devoting and provoking devotion and loyalty, emphasizing the collective importance of the mission, calming down people, communicate, and being transparent and honest. So let's go for that to become even a better leader. The second thought about this transformational leadership is about these guys or these leaders being inspirational. Inspirational meaning they inspire through feelings and emotions, convey an enthusiastic vision of the future. They have confidence in achieving objectives. So charismatic and inspirational. The third thought is that they are intellectually stimulating. And I like very much these 2 words. They question scenarios. I mean, different possibilities. They challenge people. And they challenge themselves. They encourage thinking by asking questions. You ask questions to people and you get their best potential because you make them think. And let me put an example between challenge and pressure. Pressure, it means, Miquel, by July 31st, if results of the company are not better, you and me are going to be having a different kind of conversation. And challenging, and then, well, if I may, then what I do is, I call headhunters, call my family. I feel that I'm part of the problem because I'm not trusted, so I get disconnected from the project or from the company or from that person. Challenging is different. It is, Miquel, if by July 31st, the results of the company are not better, we're going to get into trouble. So what can I do for you? May I help you? What do you need from me? Can we organize something different to make it happen? C. With that, I feel connected. I don't have time to call headhunters. I don't have time to call my friends, my partner. I feel that I'm part of a solution. I feel that I feel trusted. So I want to be part of that, and I want to help to solve the situation. And the fourth concept is they are individually considerate. They reinforce the needs and abilities of each team member. They treat them as individuals, and they grow them. They want to develop them. And let me tell you, when you're a leader, and more so these kind of transformational leaders, I mean, you already won the elections. You already got the position. You already proved that, you are technically, if I may, good. Now it's a time for you to prove that you can grow people. And instead of shining by yourself, I mean, you got to shine through your people. So if I see people that report to you and they keep shining and growing, then you're a good leader. You are a good transformational leader. Now let's talk about immediacy. Immediacy, we have the benefit of having a McKinsey company and other consulting firms that they share with us all their knowledge. And I like very much this slide where they place the 5 things they believe that we should be doing in times like the ones we are living regarding immediacy. So here we have talking about workforce, talking about supply chain, making sure at first, making sure that your people is okay. How are they doing? How they're working? How you have this virtual relationship we need to build upon. Then supply chain, making sure that, from your origin to your customer, everything is set up there. And depending on the channels we're working, some of them, they have lockdown, some of them don't. Some businesses are doing better than others. Understanding our customer needs, we are there to be able to support them in any situation that they have. Then thinking about financial stress, understanding the cash flow, the financial needs, talking to the banks, reorganizing debt if necessary, and then certainly, the operating nerve. And I like very much operating nerve, meaning like a committee, a commission, that you are making sure that you have the right people there to give the right solutions for the moment we are living. So this regarding immediacy. And one thing that's why I picked that picture of that tree supported by that lead hand. It's time to support people. It's time to support, our suppliers, time to support our customers, to care about others, to care about ourselves, to be able to help them. We have to take care of ourselves also, and cooperate. I think it's time for cooperation. And we don't have to forget this. Then let's go for future, for, the F. Of course, the day after will come, and we'll have shifts in many fronts, human behaviors, industry dynamics, technology, regulation, macroeconomics, geopolitics. And we have to have an ability to understand what's going on and what's going to happen. And I like to say that we have to think about writing the future, not just reading the future, but we have to pay attention to the trends we may find in these coming months and years. And for instance, I picked this idea from Larry Page, from the founder of Google, and I like it very much. He says the main thing that has caused the companies to fail, in my view, is that they miss the future. So, of course, now we have to pay attention to the immediacy, to today, to solve problems, to pay attention to, as McKinsey is suggesting, as to the workforce and our financials and supply chain and customers, and having this operating nerve, of course. But at the same time, we have to find time to think about the future. So how is going to be the future? We have to we have to do firefighting. We do that. We have to do firefighting. But at the same time, we have to find time to think about the future, because the future that we will find or we will get in the coming months and years is built right now, either by us or by somebody else. And I like very much this model that I suggest all of us to have in mind, that it says PESTEL. It's an acronym for politics, economy, social, technology, environmental, and legal. It is very convenient to have this concept present when when we are thinking about the future. How is going to be the economy? How about politics? How about social technology? What kind of devices? What kind of software is going to be available for me to use? And, for instance, now, all these communication platforms like Zoom or My Teams and so forth are companies that are sharing their knowledge and putting them at our disposal for us to have better communication with our people. Environmental things, any initiatives in that regard, legal. So let's review that constantly because it's going to be very helpful. Let me share, there are many like this, but I like very much these trends that come from Euromonitor, and I like very much the trends that we're talking about for 2019. Of course, 2020, things have changed a lot, but we'll come back to normal after this pandemic thing is over. And think about, I have highlighted here out of the 10 they were talking about digitally together. We like to be connected remotely, or finding my JOMO. That means the joy of missing out. It means the joy of staying home and doing more things home. That's why so many delivery companies are finding their they niche in those people that like to be at home, or they have to be at home more now with the pandemic. And I want it now. Now, it's not that you break something and something gets broken and you want to buy it and you're planning to buy it. No, you buy it immediately through your iPhone. You go to the app, you find the product, and this product probably will be delivered to you in a few hours. Learner living. How many cities? There are many people in many cities living by themselves. So that's a reality. So paying attention to all these things. I want plastic-free world. I can look after myself, conscious consumer. Paying attention to the trends, what people are going to be sensitive about for the future will help us to better design the kind of products and services that we will need it in the future. And let's go for E. E stands for digital, and I like very much the example of Estonia. They describe it as the new digital nation, and they say Estonia is the world's first country to also function as a digital service. I think there are a reference of having, it's a small country, as 1.5 million people or so, and they try to commit themselves with technology and digital. And I think that we have to embrace technology the fastest way possible. And many things coming, becoming much more digital: e-commerce, e-leadership, e-management, e-learning, e-coaching, e-games, e-health. So many things that we have to pay attention to, just to read, things that are going to be happening in order to adapt or to create our business and proposals accordingly. So, go live, leadership, immediacy, future, and digital. Go live, and let's make a better world. So as I said, go live and make a better future for you all. Be the best leader you can be. Solve immediate problems you may have. Make up time to think about the future that comes and the one you want, and embrace technology and do it super fast to make a difference. Wish you all the best.